What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Joined by my crew, Big Day Bow, AWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb, pound producer, Joyce Bathers on the controls. He's at Joyce Bathers. We're CHGO_Bulls, and we got Bulls Hornets on deck tonight. Second 17. Night of a back-to-back. What?
Part 17.
Part 17.
This time is personal.
It's actually only part 4, but it does feel like part 17. Bulls can actually get this, gentlemen, season sweep one of their opponents tonight.
I'm with
They are 3-0 against these pathetic Hornets coming into tonight's action and coming off of a pretty ugly loss to Toronto last night.
Ugly.
So you better be pissed.
Yeah.
And you better win this game.
Yeah. I don't care how injured you are, and they got some injuries. I'm sure you're going to go over them. But this is the Hornets. I'm sure LaMelo and all them and Gordon Hayward and guys like that are sitting out, and Terry Rozier's not there anymore, who used to terrorize the Bulls, and Kyle Lowry will never play for them. And, yeah, they should get this win. Yes.
That they should. Before we turn our attention to tonight's matchup, something that we did want to start pregame with tonight, our good friend Darnell Mayberry, who covers the team on the beat with along with Will for The Athletic, had a column earlier today talking about a variety of things, including that looming trade deadline a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
And he got aggregated by, I think, the NBA Central Twitter account.
Okay.
And they, put out basically a little tidbit of what Darnell was saying in that column, and Bulls fans freaked out about it. In case you missed it, here is what Darnell said. With a week remaining before the NBA trade deadline, few within or around the Bulls organization anticipate the franchise making a major move. It's not that the Bulls can't make a trade, but there's a prevailing belief that the front office won't commit to something substantial. Shout out to our guy Darnell.
Shout out.
I saw so many Bulls fans in my feed on Twitter earlier today quote tweeting this or replying to this saying, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What is this? And look, I'm not necessarily of the belief that this is brand new breaking news kind of information. I read this from Darnell and I was like, look, if Bulls fans have been paying attention and reading the tea leaves as best we can, not just for the first half of this season, but for the last 3 years, this should not come as a surprise. The one player who we know substantially he and the organization are working together towards finding a new destination, Zach LaVine, is apparently the most unwanted NBA player amongst the other 29 teams right now. And we all presume that the Bulls still love their core, love their group of guys, and see themselves in position to go to the play-in tournament. And for a lot of people within the organization, that's just fine and dandy. So, is it frustrating to see something like this? Yes, I know a lot of Bulls fans are gearing up, hoping for some change in direction, some move to shake up this roster between now and next Thursday. I don't think it's going to happen, and Darnell's hearing the same thing.
Yeah, and I don't expect anything major to happen either. And so if it's not going to be something major, then what is it going to be? Because, as you said, nobody really wants Zach. So unless something completely, revolutionary happens in the next 9 days, then either he's going to get salary dumped or they're going to keep him. And then you have to look at what their goals and aspirations are. They want to be competitive. What does that mean? That means you have to keep DeMar and you have to keep Caruso and you have to keep Vooch around because those are the guys that help raise your floor. Obviously, you're not trading Kobe or Io. Patrick is probably not getting traded at this point. You have Torrey Craig, who's on the mend, and he's been really helpful. Who are you expecting is going to be part of a deal here? It's not going to be Zach. If it's not going to be Zach, and it's also not going to be DeMar or Caruso or Vooch, or Kobe or Pat, like there's not a lot of options out there. So I think you have to look at not only what the reporting is telling you, but like what the Bulls are telling you as far as what their plans and hopes and aspirations are for themselves. And as long as that remains going into the play-in tournament and competing that way, then I don't expect anything to change.
Can you define what you mean by competitive? Because I think that's where I disagree slightly with you, because I've always said I think they can still be a play-in team even without Caruso. And for me, that's competitive.
Totally. No, I agree with that. I think from their perspective, if they're going to be in that position, they want to be like as loaded up as possible so that they can come out of the play-in tournament.
Got you. All right.
And be, beyond that. Now, whether or not that happens is a separate story, but I think that's why they're not looking at it the way we are, which is, all right, we're pretty locked in here to the 9th seed. Even if we, trade DeMar or something and we falter a little bit, we're still probably going to be in 10 because the Nets are a disaster. The Hawks are about to trade everybody. The Raptors have already traded everybody, and the Hornets and everybody else are just garbage.
Yeah.
So I don't really think they have much to worry about. But again, I think it's about the optics of looking competitive and showing a fan base that we've got guys that are going to show up and compete. And whether or not that results in actually winning or actually getting to the playoffs or actually winning games once they're in the playoffs, I think is sort of beside the point because they feel like they've got a roster that they can sell to the fans.
Which, talk about tone deaf. Rob in the comments said, completely insane to make no changes to this roster yet again. Shout out to our guy, Clem, a.k.a. Fridge Bulls TV, who said the Bulls are the first franchise ever to have a no-trade clause. Look, the rundown of the roster you just did, Will, like I agree based on what we've heard and who they value and what they see. The other name that has been thrown around recently is Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
And playoff-bound teams that are looking to beef up their front court, add a veteran front court piece for a playoff run. Andre is on an expiring deal. Like, even that, getting something for Andre, assuming he's not going to stick around, assuming he either wants more money than the Bulls are willing to give him this summer or a bigger role next summer or, a similar role on a more contending team next summer. All three valid reasons for Andre Drummond to walk away from the Bulls.
Sure.
If teams out there are willing to give you something for him, and like I know we were talking last night about how woefully undersized this Bulls team is and how limited Billy's options are, with Patrick Williams and his injury situation on top of everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how much do you value a play-in tournament appearance, and do you think you can't get there without Andre Drummond if a few teams are calling you for him?
But again, I think that begs the question of like, do you make a move just to make a move? And I think a lot of fans probably want that, but I don't think that's necessarily the right approach that they should have.
Well, and Anthony in the comments just said, who gives a shit? They don't have a plan, which I think is kind of what you're saying, Will. Like,
exactly.
If there is no concrete plan from now until where we are a year from now, midway through the 24-25 season, if you don't have a plan to start laying the first bricks on by making a move or two at this trade deadline, then you're doing something just to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's the bigger question is like, until you. So we talked about like what are their goals and aspirations. I think that's like the ultimate question is, right, where do you want to go? And then the question is, how do you get there? And if the Bulls are already there, then they don't really need to do anything, right? So I don't think that doing a move just to do it, I think that's how you get yourself in trouble.
Correct.
That's how you overpay. That's how you lose value. And I think that's, just a bad way to do business. I understand that there's a sort of desperation coming from the fans to like change some of the roster, but I think that's like a completely separate story because you can't even address that until you address this issue of like, okay, we want to be in the middle. Do we want to get out of the middle? How do we want to do that? Do we go up? Do we go down? Do we go through the draft? Do we go through trades? Like, what do we do? But until like their goals and aspirations change, I don't think that really matters because they're already where they want to be.
Yeah, and I think to your bigger point, it's what's going to make the offseason so interesting because as you keep saying, no matter what, they're going to have to do something because of the money. They're going to have to, and we all know they're not going over the cap, especially not for this team. They're not going to do that. So because of the money, they're going to be forced to do something and make some kind of move. But for another year in a row, not making a move at a deadline is just not good enough. And what makes it worse is y'all are messing with me because I have to come in here and I have to sit next to this tall white guy right here and listen to him yell and snap off correctly. Whoa. Let me finish. Listen to him yell and snap off and throw hats and be pissed and be angry at another trade deadline where nothing has occurred and you haven't improved this team. Again, and he's right to do so, but I have to sit here and listen to it again. You're making me do this over and over again. It's a wheel of trash, and I'm tired of being on it.
I don't know what my race has to do with anything.
What else are you? You're tall and white, aren't you?
I am a tall, obnoxious white guy.
You threw obnoxious in there. I did not say obnoxious.
That was paraphrasing what you just said.
Quit putting words in my mouth, sir. Do not do that. Don't do it. I said you're tall and you're white and you yell and you're angry.
And
those are all facts. And obnoxious is something you said.
Complaining about having to sit here and listen to it.
Let me toss that right there. He said, let me lay that up right there on it. No.
Shout out to a familiar name I haven't seen in a while in the comments, Debo the Black Panther.
Oh, Debo.
He said, what up, boycott and hat throwing time. For sure, at least one of those things.
Yeah.
Chase and Ashland said, the Bulls definitely have a plan, guys. Can't you see? It's continuity. Also with a cool little little picture. This is game over. I mean, Will, I just think that you got to prepare for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of wanted to just reiterate is what Dave said. With regards to doing something because of money and because the salary cap situation, I just wrote something that I think explains a lot of what's going on there and why, if we're talking about moves that are going to happen and Zach LaVine being really the only domino that the Bulls want to knock over, money is going to have a lot to do with that deal. And so I laid it out using the new collective bargaining agreement, the new salary cap numbers that just came in yesterday in a post on allchgo.com. It's for diehards only, but I think if you're sitting here watching the show and you are a basketball junkie like we are, it's definitely worth checking out. And it will really explain, I think, what could end up happening with Zach here. So definitely worth going to check that out.
Speaking of which, shout out to Eli Stein in the comments who said, hey guys, became a diehard again. Well, it renewed, but still counts. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sign up for another year.
Shout out to
of CHGO diehard fandom. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. We've got a bunch of names on the list of recently signed up diehards. We'll save that for post game.
Yeah.
So we can make sure people, in case they're listening on the pod, hear those shout outs as well. But dude, becoming a CHGO diehard is the new cool thing to be.
It is.
It's always been the cool thing to be, but numbers are soaring through the roof recently. We appreciate each and every one of you who signed up to become a diehard. If you aren't yet, join the party.
Do it.
All sorts of perks, including that column that Will dropped yesterday. Quick shout out to a couple sponsors, then we'll come back and turn our focus to tonight's Bulls Hornets game. Pre-game tonight brought to you by our friends at Circa Sportsbook.
Hey, Circa.
Offering the tight money line splits and that low hold model. Always strive to have minus 110 odds as their starting point for game spreads, over-under spreads, player props, unlike a lot of other sports bettors and sports books who push those starting points to 115 or 120 for no good reason at all.
He wanted to curse.
Circa Sports. I always want to curse. Also, keep as little as money as possible on those large market bets. For example, NBA futures. If you got an idea who's going the distance in the NBA playoffs this year, the best place to put those kind of bets down, where you'll get the best value on them, is at Circa. They encourage bettors to, of course, download and explore their Circa Sports Illinois app. But on top of that, download and try out any sports betting app you want. We know, y'all know, there are plenty of options available these days in the world of sports betting. Circa is confident that more often than not, you'll find the best user experience, the best odds, the best play, all at Circa. And they know without a doubt, you'll find the best customer service there too. Real people behind that Circa Sports brand who resolve any issues you might have with their app in a timely fashion, unlike other sports bettors and sports betting apps who use the dreaded chatbots. I'm getting real sick of checking boxes, proving to robots that I am not a robot.
Get them, Joey.
It's real dumb. Robots. It's a real dumb thing about the time we live in.
It is.
Not with Circa, though. Download that Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Be on the lookout for their tailgates, events, and watch parties. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com.
Shout out to Dinko Hoops. Appreciate the love.
Dinko!
Joey Spathis, what time is it, sir?
GameTime.
I said, what time is it, Joey?
GameTime.
GameTime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events nearest you. And right now, all users, and I said all users, get $100 off when they buy a big game ticket with the code VEGAS100, VEGAS 100. Because you know, GameTime's got those last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets. GameTime has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts. It is not the place, it is the place to find last minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, hockey, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. And with zone deals, you pick the section, and GameTime will do the selecting for drum roll, Matt. Oh, big time savings is what you're gonna get. Sorry, quit messing with Matt microphone. And with GameTime guarantee means you will always get the best price possible. So take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with GameTime. And like I said, right now, users get $100 off a big game ticket with the code VEGAS100. Terms apply. Just download the GameTime app. Use the code VEGAS100 for $100 off of a big game ticket. Or if you're not going to go to the game, use the code CHGO for $20 off of your first purchase. Either way, you're saving some money and you're looking awesome doing it. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Because we're going to go Galib. What time is it?
GameTime hoop.
Speaking of which, in case you missed it on our pre-order post last night, we have officially sold out our CHGO Bulls takeover coming up against the Timberwolves on the 6th.
Yeah.
But while our ticket package may be sold out, if you want to see if you can find tickets in Section 105, which is where we'll be hanging out with our fellow Bulls fans, hop on GameTime.
Yep.
See what the tickets are like on GameTime in Section 105. Might be able to find some killer deals.
Matt, you know what isn't sold out?
What's that?
The new Sub-Zero
Oh, segue. Joey makes an appearance.
Sub-Zero tee.
Joey segue in the house.
Man.
Very nice. AllCHGO.com. Grab
Get it while it's hot. Get it before it's gone, y'all.
Them 3X's are gone, man. Put it on.
The Timberwolves game.
That's right. Do what the GOAT just said. Come to the takeover ready. And don't wait. You saw what happened. People keep asking me, man, dude, no, I'm going to get these tickets tomorrow. It's sold out. Stop asking me. Oh, man, I really wanted to. Well, I told you to get on it. We ain't playing around. We coming. Takeover. We'll be there. Can't wait to see y'all, man. And also, stay tuned for all the awesome watch parties we're going to have as well.
True story. Okay, Bulls Hornets part 4 tonight, gentlemen. Let's turn to injuries. For the Bulls, Patrick Williams remains out with the acute bone edema, the weird injury I'd never heard of before that scares the bejesus out of me. Torrey Craig still out with that plantar fascia he's been dealing with for a month and change now. Mm-hmm. But I did notice, Will, on their most updated injury report today, he's out, but he was upgraded to doubtful on that injury report. So that points to what we had maybe been hearing a clue or two from Billy regarding Torrey Craig's status recently, including when he talked to y'all before the game yesterday, that he's legit nearing a return very soon.
Yeah, kind of crazy. It was supposed to be 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how long it's been, but certainly not
been 10.
that long. So
6 to 8.
He was pretty confident that he would be able to get back before that deadline. I mean, he said like 2 or 3 weeks, which was never going to happen, but just kind of goes to show that he was working and he's on his way back, which is crazy.
And needed as well with all the injuries going on.
Indeed. Speaking of bad news but expected news, Dalen Terry ruled out tonight after leaving last night's game with that sprained ankle. But Billy did confirm in post-game availability last night, Will, that the X-rays were negative, just a sprained ankle.
Yeah, he was like walking around. Well, we didn't see him walking in the locker room.
I saw a video of him on one of those scooters.
He was on a scooter. He did have some
Shout
crutches.
out campaign.
I knew he was going to do that.
But yeah, it did. I think my interpretation of what happened was that it looked a lot worse than it might actually have been.
Okay.
Well, let's cross our fingers and hope
that
that's the
youth
case.
juice helped him out. Is that what you're saying right there?
The youth juice.
Youth juice. Helped
So
him out.
Bulls who have been dealing with a shorthanded roster
a
are
sponsorship with youth juice.
Oh, man, working on it right now.
Good. Okay,
Working on it, man.
that's
Will can use some of that.
I could use some of that.
Yeah, man.
Is that a real thing?
It is not, but it should be. Trademark going in the mail
I
tomorrow.
don't know if that name is trademark worthy.
I don't know, man.
Sounds
Hey.
a little strange.
Hey, man, it's a drink called Ghost, bro. Anything is possible.
So that's the situation with the Bulls. They're starting 5, same as it's been for a while now since Zach and Pat both left with injuries. You got Kobe, Io, Caruso, DeMar, and Vooch as your starting 5 tonight. Then, meanwhile, with the Hornets, Miles Bridges, listed as probable, has been on the injury report off and on dealing with an elbow. He is active and has the green light tonight.
Okay.
He will be in that Hornets starting lineup alongside Cody Martin, Brandon Miller, Bryce McGowens, and Nick Richards.
Bryce, but cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, Mikal Bridges is playing?
Miles.
Miles is playing.
Okay, all right.
Along with rookie Brandon Miller, who's been playing better recently. He's
Thank
put
you.
up some big scoring games. Martin, Richards, and McGowens.
Thank you.
Gordon Hayward out, still dealing with the calf injury. Mark Williams out, still dealing with the back injury. LaMelo Ball, and this is a bummer. You know, speaking of injuries and Ball family, and man, when is it not the case?
Man.
He was out for like a month, a little over a month. Came back for 5 or 6 games in this month of January, and then has been out again for the last couple of games, still dealing with a bad ankle. He is out tonight.
Sucks.
Have we seen him at all this year in the 4 games?
in those
that they
4
played?
games, I
I don't
recall.
think so.
I don't think they
Honestly,
have.
I think he was
recall
out for the first 3, and he'll be out again tonight.
because the first 2 were back to back. Right?
Yeah, he missed all 3.
Oh man.
And then Kyle Lowry, which you touched on, Dave, technically a Charlotte Hornet right now.
Yes.
Not a Charlotte
Won't
Hornet.
ever play for them.
He is not with the team. He will not be playing.
And
So,
obviously, Terry Rozier was traded. So
yes.
he was the one that was killing the Bulls last time they played and almost got it, or he did get it to overtime.
yes. So, not a whole lot farther to fall down the basement steps than where they were, these poor Charlotte Hornets. But in this 4-game sample size, since they traded Terry Rozier to Miami, they've fallen down the remaining steps all the way to the leaky, disgusting basement floor. In the 4 games since Terry Rozier was traded, the Charlotte Hornets record is 0-4. Their offensive rating in those 4 games, 108.2. That is anemic offense. 29th ranked in the NBA in that span of games. Their defense, 127.4, 28th, and their overall net rating of negative 19.2, dead last in the NBA. This Hornets team, and you feel for them. And in that small 4-game sample size, they've also been dealing with some of these injuries that we just rattled off, in addition to losing Terry Rozier, who was their main point getter, bucket getter all season long.
Really was.
Which is why Miami went out and made that trade to get Terry Rozier, try to beef up their offense a little bit. But
Still losing.
okay, yes, the Bulls are without Pat.
Yeah.
The Bulls are without Dalen. The Bulls are still without Torrey Craig. The Bulls are still without Zach.
Yeah.
Zero excuses.
Yeah, 0.
They
This
did manage
team-
to lose last night to a team without Jakob Poeltl, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickly. But if they lose this game, that would be disastrous.
Yeah. What he said. I have nothing to add
Especially
to that.
after having lost last night to a team without Jakob Poeltl, without Emmanuel Quickly, and without RJ Barrett.
What he said. That's it.
I mean,
Can't lose.
I will either go nuclear or I will laugh like a possessed maniac if they lose this game.
Oh, you're laughing like a possessed maniac.
It
That's
would be
fair.
funny.
Why not both?
I mean,
I didn't
Last
get
night
to
was-
see live the 150 Minnesota game that sent Dave over the edge. Give me something good. Come on, Hornets.
but again, like I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him. It's the second night of a back-to-back. You're on the road.
Yeah.
The Bulls have not proven to us at any point this season that they can just be like, see a game like this, see an opponent like this, and say, we're just going to take care of business tonight.
They're going to win by 20.
Yeah, I don't I agree with that last part when you go up against the opponent. And when you say take care of business, he means win by like 20, wins by like 30. Just completely kick their ass.
Or at least comfortably.
Yes.
The last time we saw this Hornets team, the Bulls coughed up a fourth quarter lead and needed to go to overtime.
100 miles an hour.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
Do we
Still 3-0 against this team. There's no reason they can't win. They shouldn't win.
Do we
this
have a
game.
specific betting partner whose line we need to
Joey?
say for this game?
Circa.
Okay.
Are you betting, Joe?
Yes.
Oh,
You going Patrick Williams first basket?
Not playing, so he's not available for the first basket tonight. But here's what I am going with. And I am in the camp that the Bulls will take care of business tonight.
yeah.
Bulls -6.
Bulls minus 6.
4
Okay.
plus Kobe White threes. 3.5 money line Bulls first half. I think they're taking it and running.
And against some of the inferior competition or equally bad competition they've been playing recently, they have been having a lot of first half leads. And then they have these third quarters where they're like, we're done.
And they go eat chicken
I
parm.
looked this up for my story yesterday.
halftime.
In the last 10 games, the Bulls are last in the league in third quarter net rating at -21. They're getting outscored by 21 points per 100 possessions.
That's worse than the Hornets net rating over the last 4 games.
That is
Jesus
real bad.
Christ, that's
Yikes.
horrible.
Yikes.
Yeah, man. That's not winning
I
basketball.
mean, yeah, that's gross.
That's gross.
Fresh Bulls TV will probably lead by 15 at halftime and then lose it in the third. Yeah, the Bulls did that on Sunday, and then they did it again last night.
I'm about to say they can't.
Double-digit halftime lead, lose it entirely at the end of the third quarter. I did want to just touch briefly on Brandon Miller, who I mentioned has been playing better recently, and maybe it's just because the Hornets are turned to him.
Yeah, who else you
a
gonna
lot
rely
of their
on?
key guys are out. You don't have LaMelo, you don't
Super
have
green light.
Hayward.
Yes.
Bridges has been dealing with injury, and now you lose Terry Rozier. Brandon Miller's only averaging 15 points per game on the season, but in the last 10 games, he has upped that to 18 points per game.
Okay.
Including a couple of games where he's dropped to 20 plus. They lost to the Knicks on Monday. The Knicks, who are on a tear,
11-2
by the way.
in their last 13.
The Knicks game, though, Brandon Miller put up 29 points on very efficient shooting from the field. So, Bulls defense, don't forget that Brandon Miller is capable of getting buckets recently.
Didn't they also beat the Wolves recently, or am I making that up?
They may have, but I think, their first game after the Terry Rozier trade, they lost to Detroit. So
Yeah, they beat the Wolves 128-125 and then have lost 4 straight,
Okay.
yeah.
Use it all up,
including the
against Bulls. Makes
Pistons.
sense. Yeah.
They lost to the Pistons the day after.
Oh, yeah, they went in super cocky. Like, hell yeah, we killed the Wolves. Oh, we going to kill this team right here. And then remember, they're the same.
Yep.
Spider-Man meme.
Toro Loco 333 in the comments said, "Man, I'm such a positive person, but I'm done believing in the Bulls. Up by 16, I took a nap, woke up to an L.
Oh, that has to suck.
That happens.
That has to suck.
That happens.
Why'd you take a nap? No, man. You don't do that.
I mean, what, are you going to criticize someone for napping?
No, just not at halftime. Wake up. Third quarter is when I usually do it. That's when I make the decision.
That's when the Bulls do it also.
Correct. I'm with the team, Matt. Oh, y'all sleeping? So am I. Pass the pillow, baby.
Yeah. Alex in the comments pointing out, if the Bulls lose this one, you got the Kings on deck on Sunday, on Saturday rather.
Yeah.
And this
Jackson
was
team.
we talked about it a little bit yesterday. A prime opportunity between Toronto, Charlotte for the Bulls to get to 1 game shy of 500.
Yeah.
You blew that last night.
Blew it.
You have to salvage this game.
No choice.
To get to 23 and 26, because you got Sacramento, and then you got those Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday. Take over. Let's hope we don't.
We'll be there.
Watch something very ugly go down at the United Center on Tuesday.
It'll be fun regardless, guys.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Whatever happened to that Zach for Brandon Miller trade? Asks 1000i85. Was there a Zach?
That was a Zach for Brandon Miller trade?
We were talking about trading Zach for the number 2 pick.
Oh, back during draft days of
draft
yesteryear.
We being
how
us.
his value has fallen.
Zach was worth a number 2 pick.
It's kind of crazy how much Brandon Miller has been overlooked this season. Just
Under
from
the radar,
the
for
rookie
sure.
class.
Yeah.
Obviously. And it's like, dude, the Spurs are also trash as far as a quality basketball team, just like the Hornets are.
Sure.
But Wemby is Wemby.
Yeah, he's a
Wemby's
global
getting
phenomenon.
SportsCenter highlights every
Yeah.
night. He's drawing eyes. They're putting the Spurs on national television constantly.
Yao Ming.
As a team that still does it. The Spurs aren't even at 10 wins yet, are they?
Probably
Or
not.
somewhere around 10 wins, which is what Charlotte has.
Yeah.
They are at 10 wins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's
Detroit,
crazy.
not so much.
Brandon Miller's just been kind of coasting along.
I think we could still get the second for Zach. Second rounder,
Second rounder, maybe.
maybe.
Might have to attach a second rounder.
You're better than that, Joe.
Shout out to our guy JR from GR, aka Flipside23. Said no lead is ever safe with this Bulls team. 30-point cushion doesn't seem enough, in my opinion. They'll find creative ways to blow it, as you say all the time. The 20-point lead is the new 10-point
20-point
lead.
lead don't mean shit in the NBA, dog. Absolutely not. We just see how many people are scoring 70 points this year. 20-point leads don't be the goddamn thing.
They
Absolutely
don't. Shout out to Sandy Long who said, y'all, please drop that Kobe design as a hoodie.
Ooh,
That's not a bad idea.
Boy, that's ball.
I
that
would get one.
Immediately.
We'll run that up the artistic chain of command.
Artistic flagpole.
People who handle
See if
merch
it salutes.
and all those decisions.
That's a great.
'Cause I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
We offer a lot of our designs in our CHGO merch locker as both tees and hoodies.
Yeah.
The Sub-Zero one,
I mean, it makes sense.
great hoodie potential.
Rocking the crap out of that. You're right. The crap.
By the way, another reason to sign up to become a diehard. You get 20% off every time you shop at that CHGO merch locker.
That's right.
Do it up.
Then you can hop in the Discord and holler at this guy right here.
Or holler at this guy.
Or out this guy. Or read what this guy does.
And
Strictly
just
for the
chat with
diehards.
your fellow Bulls fans.
That's right.
In the Elite VIP CHGO Bulls Discord lounge.
Cushy chair.
Shout out again. We'll shout out some specific names who recently joined the CHGO diehard fam in post game tonight. So it goes on the pod. But I heard from Kev, our head of content, earlier today. Over 100 new signups in January.
Amazing.
This month.
To become
Just
CHGO
this month.
diehards. This month, over 100 of y'all joined the CHGO diehard sports fans crew. That's awesome, man. We appreciate y'all.
Get this love.
It is 6:01 Chicago time. That means tip-off right around the corner. We will get out of here. Thank y'all for watching pregame. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Follow along. Will_Gottlieb is the GOAT. Big Dave Bow, BAWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We're CHGO_Bulls. Our panel producer, Joey Spathis, at Joey Spathis. Talk to y'all for postgame right back here. See you. Be good.
Shout out Camp Horseshoe. Peace.
We all silly like the